show you the supplies that you will need to paint along with me. So first of all, you're going to need some of these brushes here. They're bristle brushes. I got a 2-inch and I got a 1-inch and a 1/4-inch bristle brushes. So I have some of those on hand. Also, you can have some fan brushes. I like to use fan brushes in my paintings. And you can have different sizes, a small one and some nice bigger ones. There we go. These are nice, and this is sable and some are bristle. Most of them are sable. I like the soft ones. And you can have a smaller bristle brush, and you can also have palette knives in case we do some mountains. Alright, they're always good to have on hand. None of these supplies are real expensive. And filbert brushes are really nice. See the round top on it there? Good. And you can have liner brushes. Liner brushes are really nice for small details. See, I got small and I got large and a long one and different sizes, whatever you have on hand. And I like sable brushes, the chiseled edge brushes, where I have one that's an angular brush and just a flat brush and a chiseled edge. And they're great for lines, making lines and all kinds of things. Also, I like to have, you're going to need some paints, of course. And you can use tube paints if you want, or you can use, I use the bottle paints, I find them really good. And I use the primary colors. I always have the primary colors of red, yellow, and blue, and green and brown, and black and white. And you can have all kinds of colors you want. Cad red, cad yellow, ultramarine blue, and sap green and burnt umber is most popular ones that you see on the videos. But if you have whatever you have on hand, you don't have to run out and buy a big pot of different color paints. You know, if you have them, it's great. You can also use, we need tape. We always, not always, but sometimes we will tape off our horizon line. That's painter's tape. And I like to have a misting bottle. And I like to have a nice sponge for foliage. You might use that. And some paper towels and some water, with a jug of water for your paints. And the supports that you can use to paint on, it can be watercolor paper, or it can be canvas board. Nice canvas board, nice and hard and sturdy. So that's about it. So let's get started. I'll show you how to do this today, and hopefully we can get it done in a few little lessons. And so I'll put this down, and then we'll start We'll start a brand new canvas, size 11 by 14. That's what that is, 11 by 14. And I have my paints ready on my palette, and the sap green, ultramarine blue, titanium white, burnt umber, and cad red and cad yellow. That's what I'm using today. Try to use very limited paints so I don't have to go out and buy hundreds of different colors. Plus you mix your own, which is a good help. So what you want to do now for that painting is, I'm just going to tape it all around just so that you can have a little border around it if you want to. You don't have to do this, but you can do that. Put a border around it. That will give it a nice little look to your painting. So that's all it takes, is a little bit of tape all around. Around the bottom. Good. And get this done properly for you. Okay. And then we'll do the other side. And then you got your nice little border. Now you can also do an oval border with tape if you wanted to. You can you know, use your imagination. This is kind of nice. So I'm just going to throw another little bit of tape right here, just so I know where the sky, the horizon is, just to help me put everything in place. You don't have to do all this taping up, but I'm just trying to determine where the sky and the water meet. That's your horizon right here. These trees are above the horizon. The tape is The horizon's right here above the tape, and your trees will be going up over your tape. So make sure you get enough space for your sky and your trees above the horizon. So the horizon line's the top of the tape. So looking at that, I'm thinking I might need a little more room, so I can come down a little bit. Right, so this is the things you have to adjust to make sure you got things in place before you get started. It's like preparing a meal sometimes. Getting all your paints ready and all your ingredients. And now we'll go cooking. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our brushes, and I just have the brushes that I'm going to use are just the Bristol brush, size 10 this one is, and just another smaller one. This is probably size 2, or I don't know for sure, it's all wore off, but you can see the difference in the size, hopefully. And this is a filbert brush. See how round it is on top? These are really nice for flowers and clouds, anything like that. So I'd suggest you get a filbert brush, okay, because these are really nice. And fan brush and a liner brush. Okay, fan brush and liner brush. And any other brushes that you think you might need. I got these brushes. These are really nice. These are just, I just bought them new ones. These are really nice. They're sable or synthetic, and they're really nice. They bounce back. They're soft, but they bounce back. As long as they bounce back, they're really nice. Okay? So, that's that. Now, let's get cooking. So what we'll do first is we'll do the sky, and even though we have trees and everything here, we're going to do our background first. So let's get out our Bristol brush. I like working with Bristol brush. You certainly can use a sable if you want, okay? Everything I say is not written in stone. You know, just when you get more experience, you will pick your own brushes, will make your own decisions. I'm making your decisions for you right now, but you will eventually make your own decisions and do your own paintings. And thank you very much for sending me your paintings. They're so beautiful. You're doing a great job. So I'm just putting blue, ultramarine blue and white, titanium white together with a little bit of red just to, I don't know. Now look, see, I had too much red. This, see, that happens to the best of us. So I'm just going to move to the side here. Add a little bit of that color that I made too red. I might add a little tiny bit of burnt umber just to gray it up a little bit. Sky's got a grayish, bluish, purplish color sometimes. So just to have some fun, let's just get that on there. Back and forth, long strokes. I know I do long strokes, and some people do, like I said, crisscross strokes. That's up to how you're comfortable with it. Okay, so anyway, I'm just mixing the paints, and I'm going back and forth, long strokes. And you might say, you mixed up a little batch, and then when you go back to mix it again, it may not come out the same color. Well, that's fine, because it'll all mix together. We're working wet on wet, and skies have all different colors and values and hues to them, so you know, it's nice to have actually little different colors here and there, so don't worry about that too much. If you want to make sure that your color is still the same, you can also go out and buy pre-mixed paints, and that way then you'll already have a bottle of pre-mixed paint. You won't have to worry about that. You won't have to worry about going back and getting more color and then the color is different. So you can do that too, but I like mixing my own colors because it gives me lots of values and lots of changes in the color. See how it changed up a bit down there? So as I come down, I'm going to put more white down here, okay? Even though the trees are going there, I just still want to tell you that it gets lighter as you go down. And it's darker at the top. Sky starts darker at the top and gets lighter as they come down. That kind of looks almost the same, but that's okay because I'm putting our trees here, but I just wanted to explain it to you. So there we go. Now you have a pretty little sky. You can also have it a little bit darker in the corner. You can always go, as long as the paint is wet, you can always go back and make adjustments. If the paint dries up on you, then it's harder to do that because you'll just cover up everything you're doing. But see, I can blend that in there, and it'll blend. It'll get a little darker, but it'll all blend together nicely. See? Because it's all wet. You're working wet on wet. Wet on wet. Wet paint on wet paint. And that is used for blending. Okay? Whenever, say now you want to put we'll put trees on there, that's okay to be wet on wet, that's fine. But if you're going to put, say, a lighthouse or something there, then your paint in the background should be dry so you can get your lighthouse on over the paint. So the next step will be the trees. So we'll take the same brush and we'll do some trees. And all you have to do is dip into some green. And because they're going to be the further away, the distant trees, we'll add a little tiny bit of blue to them. A little bit of blue. And then we'll add a little bit of white. Now I like to experiment with colors just to see what they're going to be like. And so like I say, everything's not written in stone. You can decide what color greens you want and everything. So let's just throw on some light green because they're in the background. Just tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. There we go. Tap, 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 tap. And as you come up, they talk about the negative space around your subject. So what we're saying is, look at the shape of the trees on top. You don't want them going straight across. You want to have some shape, so make more interest to your painting. Tap, 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 up, tap, 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 down, tap, 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 up, tap, 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 down. Maybe you'll get a laugh out of that. Okay, so there we go, some background trees, and they're the far away, distant trees, okay? We'll add some darker trees to that just to make it look like there's some trees coming forward. So what we're going to do is, I am going to try this brush again. You can use the same brush or you can get a smaller brush. It's up to you. Experiment with different brushes. I would suggest that you experiment with lots of different brushes and have some fun. See what works best for you, okay? So now we're going to go a little darker. So we're going to take the sap green and put it like that. And then just tap on some sap green trees. And go in front of the ones that you just made. And remember to have up, 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 down. There we go. And that will give you the darker trees in the front. See? There we go. So be aware of the shape of your trees. Alright? Don't just tap and go right straight across. Be aware of your trees. Up, 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 down. Just by tapping. Look, I didn't have to do anything. It was a tree shape there. See? Let your brush do it all. And this is a nice brush for that. This is the Bristol brush, size 10. Well, you can, like I said, experiment with different brushes. That's what painting's all about. Have fun, experiment. Always have fun and experiment with your brushes. And your colors. Experiment with your colors. Find out what is the complementary of each color. I'll mention them here as I go along. Complementary of red is green. And we'll just continue on. I don't want to get lost in what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that tape off. So if you're happy with your background trees, then you can take your tape off. So your sky and your background trees and your more forward trees, all in a matter of 5-10 minutes. See, it doesn't take very long to do a painting. Now you can practice your tons of skies, you can practice tons of trees. I'm always practicing, constantly practicing. Even just fooling around. I mean, that doesn't look good, but it's always because I just want to see how my brushes, what I can do with my different brushes and all that stuff. So, I mean, I can show you a ton of things where I'm always practicing and always trying different things with my brushes. It's fun, and I know you got to have a lot of time for it. So, don't feel guilty if you don't have the time. You will have time later. So if you're busy working or whatever you're doing, just take the time when you get a chance and practice some different things with painting if you love it that much. So the next thing you're going to do is take a smaller brush. It's just a smaller brush. And I'm going to take any color that you want, any color that you desire. Let's take some blue. And we're just going to decide where we want. So we got some trees done and we got some sky. We're going to put some clouds in after. So I'm going to decide where I want my water to end and my grass to begin. So what I'm going to do to make that easy for me is I'm going to draw a kind of a line here to give me some grass. A little wiggly line there. That can always change that. Good. Now all you have to do is get your fan brush. So get your fan brush out and make sure you put it in water. Tap it off in your tissue. Make it damp. Try to make your brushes damp all the time. It'll help the paints move, and it'll help the paints move. And I'm going to double load my brush, which means I'm putting paint on one side and paint on the other side. And I'm going to mix some white in with it in order to brighten it up. I don't want my water to be too dark. So it's just going to be plain water. So just put that underneath here, and underneath here we go. So we can put some up here, and the same with the water. So we'll start with some water, a little lighter on top. There we go. And as we come down, we get a little darker. So, isn't it funny? The skies start darker on the top, and later as you come down, but the water and the land seems to start lighter at the top and get darker as you come down. But you can do it whatever way you want to. There's rules and there's no rules. There's your rules and there's rules. Rules that will help you in your paintings, like where to place your composition, how to place your composition, that your subject should go in a rule of thirds, should go to the right or the left, your main subject, you know. But if you want something in the middle of your painting, go for it, you know. Composition is important. You look at other people's paintings and you'll see, you know, study other people's paintings who've got a lot of experience and see how they lay out their paint, depending on what you're interested in. If you're interested in landscapes, look at landscape paintings and see how they laid out their landscapes, their subjects, and where they have the light source and their focal point. See where your eye goes to first, and that's your focal point. So if they have a spot with all kinds of light shining on a little house or a tree or something, then that's your focal point. You want to bring attention to that area. And the way to do that is to get lots of light in that area, or make it stand out on its own somehow. It's a lot to learn. It's not a very, you know, takes a lot of studying, but it's fun. You know, it's fun to get started. You know, you want to start exhibiting your paintings, and you want to start selling them, and you really want to learn all the basics and all everything that you do to make a really good painting. Okay? So these are a good start. These paintings here are a good start to get you started and get you at least to know how to use a fan brush and how to make some water and some trees and skies and things like that. A few little things that I put in here. Okay? But study. If you want to make a career out of art, you have a lot of study, a lot of work. Okay, so we're getting to the bottom of the water. Just darken it up a small bit. You know, you can have different. Now my paint is starting to dry a little bit. It seems to be maybe it's warm here, and I'm just going to spray that to keep it from. I'm just going to spray. There we go. A little mist on there, just so it'll move for you. Okay. Don't have to do that, but if it's starting to dry up on you and you feel like your brush won't move the paint, that's a good thing to do. So there we go. We get some water on there. You can do all kinds of stuff with this water. You can put some darker lines in there, some white lines. We'll add a few more things now after we get this done. So I'm going to do the water, and I'm going to do a bit of grass, and then I'm going to go and let you practice. Get your painting ready, and you can send it to me when you get it done if you like, so I can look at it and see your version of the painting. Okay, I like to see your version. I don't critique I can't even say the word. You know, I will make suggestions if I think, you know, it'll improve or it'll help you. But otherwise, I love looking at your paintings. You do a great job. Okay, so we'll just get that water in there. And we will just add a few little darks here and there just to give it some dimension. Because it seems like it's just one flat color. We want to add some interest. Okay, just add a little bit of dark lines. I had to wet my brush a little bit there. I'm finding my paint was a bit dry. So if you're having a hard time with your paint and you're trying to put it on and the paint won't move and it feels sticky almost, it could be because your house is warm, warm temperatures, because this paint, it really dries fast. Acrylic paint dries fast, but sometimes it don't, you know. Sometimes you'll work. See how I added the water? Now it's running. That's fine. No big deal. Alright, so I'm just adding a little bit more color. There we go. I'm just dipping into my darker color, just throwing in some of these darker colors. There we go. So I'm just going to leave that for now. And then what I'm going to do next, one more thing to do before we go, and I'll get the other video ready, is let's put some grass at the bottom. Some grass. Okay, here we go. So all you need is green. Take the big brush used for your sky. Take some green paint. Alright, and add a little bit of your complementary color red to it. Give it a more earthy look. See, I added a bit too much. Okay, so now I'm going to move over here because that was way too much in my opinion. So I'm going to add a little more, and probably a little tiny bit of blue, because I want the grass to be nice and dark. I'm just going to start down here in the bottom, and that gives a nice earthy color. Good. Tap, tap, tap away. Tap, 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 tap. So we'll take our brush, and we will take the green, and we'll take the white. I'm going to add a little bit of white to my green, and I'm going to tap on some grass with the fan brush. So let's try here. So tap, 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 tap. That's another way you can do your grass with the fan brush. Probably put some up here. There we go. Now, so that's with the fan brush. And then we will also, the fan brush is a little harder to control, but you can look at different videos on fan brushes and how to use them for grass. And then I want to try another brush. Let's try the smaller brush, this one here, and then we will add a bit of white to and a bit of yellow. So to brighten it up, just add a bit of white and yellow. And then we'll try this brush. And just tap, 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 tap. Okay? And all we got to do then is keep tapping and playing around with our grass till we get what we're looking for. And as you can see, I got it pretty bright there, so we want to go a little darker. So we'll just tap until we find a brush that we're happy with. Now I haven't found a brush I'm happy with yet, so I'm getting some things going here, but I'm not real happy with that. So let's say I get probably a more Bristol brush it's something like the other one, but it's a bit stiffer. Some of the Bristol brushes are a little stiffer than others. And this one here is nice and stiff, and I'm going to add some green paint and tap into the paint, the green, a bit of yellow, and tap on some more grass. So just tap all over. There we go. All over till we get that grass the way we want it. Yep, and you could even lift up a few little strands of grass. Lift them up. Lift, 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 lift. There we go. See? Now you got some grass going on up there. Good. Okay, so there's the grass. Now this is just the basic grass. I'm trying to show you some different brushes that we can use. There's lots of ways you can paint your grass. Alright, so we get some more green. I'm going to put some more green on my palette. And see, sap green. That's the color I'm using. Alright. Now, sap green. Punch your brush into your bristles right into your palette. And this is pretty wet, so you might want to dry a little bit. So while we're waiting for that to dry, we can do something else. Okay, so that's not completely done yet. We have a lot of work to do yet. Grass, the more you play with your grass, the more you lay different colors on top of it, different values of colors, then you will get nicer grass every time. Right? This is wet, so some of the canvas is coming through. So if that happens to you, then just let it dry, and then we'll go back to it after. Alright? So you tap, 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 pull up a few little strands of grass right here. See? That's a little quick trick to getting some. So see, as you can see, the canvas is wet, and so some of the paint is a little too wet, and then you have to let that dry and do another layer. So while we're waiting for that to dry, I put a few little colorful bushes back here. We don't need a lot back there. We don't want too much colorful bushes. But you know, it'd be nice to add a little color to your painting, so that's okay. So I'm just taking my smaller bristle brush and dipping it into red. Just tapping a little bit of red in here. And I'm just going to tap on a little bit of red bush back here, just a small one. Maybe another little one over here. So another little bush, and then we're going to add a little bush. We want to separate them so that just, you know, they're even. And maybe we will have some yellow. So some yellow bushes back there, maybe, I don't know, whatever colors you want. You can add white ones back there. Any colors that you would like to have. And then you can just brighten. You can leave your brush dirty and just add a couple little yellow ones. There we go. Good. And maybe a little bit of white. So leave your brush dirty, and that way you'll get some different colors. There we go. I'm just doing but you don't have to add, bright colors like this if you don't want to. This is just little tips and tricks for you, and we're just putting these little tips and tricks together in a painting. So your painting don't have to be exactly like this. Just add your own ideas. Just add your own ideas and have some fun with it, that's all. So all you have to do now is, let's do some water lines. So take your fan brush, add some water lines along the water's edge there. And just take a bit of white, and then just go across underneath here. The water line, just right underneath here. Try to make it as skinny as you can. Like I said, my hand is not steady right now because it's not straight. So I'm just going to put that water line in here. You can do this with a palette knife too. You want me to show you that? How about I show you a palette knife? We don't deal with a palette knife very much. But how about we use a palette knife? Let's see if I can put as much stuff in this painting as I can to help you get some ideas with. Now I'm left-handed, so if you're doing this, you may put the paint on the other side of your brush, your knife. And then you can just lay that in here and just pull it across. And then you get a nice straight line. There we go. I'm laying it down a little bit to get the paint off of it. See? So just pull it through your paint to get a line of paint. And then touch, and then pull. And if you have to lay the brush down a little bit, you can go for it. So there's a palette knife that you can use. Good. So I'll see if I can incorporate the palette knife in some paintings. So I want to show you different brushes, the palette knife, different techniques. Every time I do a painting, I want to show you something different. And that way you get to do a full painting, plus you get hopefully as many tips and tricks as I can think of, alright? So we got a little bit of our trees back here, and we want a little bit of a reflection down here. So here's a reflection that you can do. That's a simple reflection, okay? Just a simple little reflection without having to tap all these trees down here. So a very simple reflection would be to take some green paint. Just take some green paint, wipe off your brush. It's almost like a dry brush effect. And just scratch on some green shadows down here. Just a little green. See? Just green. That way you don't have to worry about shapes or anything. You're just giving a shadow of trees, of the illusion of some reflections. Alright, there we go. I'm making a mess. As long as you get a bit of reflection down there, they're underwater. So go back and get your green paint, wipe it off, and then scrub in a little bit of green underneath your waterline, and that will be some reflections. Okay, and then just scrub in a little bit of green coming down here, how far you think they might be going. And also you have a little bit of reds going on down here, right? A little bit of reds. There we go. See, so simple. You don't have to even worry about it too much. A little tiny bit of yellows down here, right here. See? Don't worry. Be happy. Now let's take our palette knife again. Drag it through the white. Palette knife. Okay. And then you can just lay on some water lines here and there. If those water lines are too... There we go. I probably had too much paint on my brush, so the water lines are kind of big. So, and see, you take some of the paint off, and look, there you go. You get better water lines, alright? There's just a few little water lines with your palette knife. That's all I'm doing for it, just to show you that you can make some line. We'll make our little fence, okay? And then we'll put our clothes on the line, alright? Cool. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a very small filbert brush. It can be flat, it doesn't have to be filbert. It's small so we can make those small rails, sticks, fence posts, whatever you want to call it. All I'm doing now is I'm putting some brown on one side and maybe, let's see, how about dark blue and some green, doesn't matter, as long as they're dark colors. And we'll just lay that in there. Just put your brush, it can be the horizontal or the vertical, and just pick a spot on your painting where you want your post. So your post is on this side, here on the right side, is going to be taller than the one on the left side. And let's see, touch and pull. Okay, that's one post. See how you get the brown and the dark colors? Right. So I'm going to do another one, a smaller one, for perception, to make it look like it's a little further away. And that one's going to be a little smaller. Touch and pull. Make it a little crooked if you want to. It's only a little post. Okay, so that's that. Very simple. Same as when you make a fence. That's how we make our fence. We make posts like that, very simply. So the next step you're going to do is you are going to draw a line from one post to the other with a pencil. I just took a pencil. You can use chalk, whatever you want to use. And I'm going to take a very small, maybe my liner brush. Okay, so remember, the smaller the areas, the smaller the brush. So I'm just going to take my liner brush and I'm going to take some white, and just to highlight that little there, I'm just going to gently bring a little bit of white on top of it, just to bring it out so you can see that little clothesline. It could be maybe the sun shining on it. So you can tap that on, or you can just pull it across. See, because you have it drawn, at least now you can get an idea where to put that. Okay? So that's just a little highlight on your clothesline there. Excellent. Now you're just going to draw some clothes on the line. So you can put anything on the line that you want. Some blankets, you can put a quilt on there, you can put a patch quilt. Some people, when they do my art class, they'll put like a patchwork quilt, okay? But I'm not going to do that because it'll take too long. And some shirts and socks and whatever you want to put there, okay? So let's draw out something. Let's draw out, how about just a, I don't know, a little, maybe it's a towel. So I'm just going to draw a towel. That's that. And then I'm going to draw maybe a shirt. So that's just a little shirt. You come down, give it a couple of sleeves, come over, a little sleeve, and up. And maybe some socks. So you see, just come down and over and down and up. And down and over and down and up. You see that? I know it's hard to see, but you can make it up as you go along. And let's see what else we got here. Maybe a blanket. Maybe a blankie. So just draw, it's only a square really. Then you probably put a little edge on it just to make it look, you know, not too straight. Maybe there's a pair of shorts down here. So look up some clothes and just take the shapes from that. Okay, that's all. I'm just going to put a couple little things in there just so that you can get started. And now, what are we going to do? So it's hard to see. I don't know if they're focused okay or not. But when we paint that, you'll be able to see them better, okay? So we'll just add some color. So let me see. Now get a really small brush. Maybe your liner brush would be good for this. A really small flat brush or a really small liner brush. I'm just going to take some red, and I'm going to put some white in my red because red is a little transparent, and some colors are transparent. You need to add a bit of white to opaque them. Opaque means that you can't see through it. And I guess some of you are out there going, yes, I knew that. Cool. So there's your red. So we're just going to make it a pinkish red, and then put that on the line. Nice sunny day. Nice day with a bit of breeze. Hang your clothes out. That's that. So you can pick any colors that you want. So I'm just going to put another one of those. Now that I got the paint on my brush, I'm just going to put that color on my blankie. I know, blankie. That's what you used to say to the kids when you're younger. Get your blankie. Okay, so I'm just going to make that. So just fill in those shapes that you made. There we go. And add a little bit of blue to that color. That color that you just made, add a bit of blue, and then you get a nice little shadow. Okay, so that'll give you a shadow. So put the shadow on the right. You know what? If the light is coming in through this side, then the shadow should be on the other side. So, alright, let's figure those shadows out instead of me telling you the shadow was in the wrong place. I don't want to stare you in the wrong place. So I'm going to go back over that color again, and we'll come back to that in a minute. Alright, so the shadow's on the other side, not that side, okay? That's what I'm thinking now, because I'm thinking that the sun is coming in from the right, and that's why it's hitting this grass here. So it should hit these clothes, so the shadow should be on the back, because if the sun is hitting on the right of things, trees or posts, then the shadows will be on the opposite side, which will be the left side. Now what else can we do? Let's get some blue. I don't even clean my brush half the time because I like the colors to all mix together. It's really nice. Alright, so there we go. Blue. Blue shorts. And now you have it all drawn out in pencil, then you don't have to worry about, you know, getting it drawn out with your brush. Drawing with your brush, I find, is alright for mountains or some, you know, some big objects, but little things like this, I think is good to draw with your pencil. Draw it on first, and that way you don't have to worry too much about it. Now, some socks. I think I'm going to have some yellow socks. I'm going to add a little bit of white to my yellow, because yellow seems to be transparent too. So I'm going to thicken it up with some white, and then I'm going to put my socks on there as kind of a yellowish color. That cad yellow has almost got a greenish color to it. There we go. So I'm going to add more white just to brighten them up for you. Okay, there we go. That'll brighten them up so you can see them. Okay. Now we have a little shirt hanging on the line there. I'm going to leave my brush dirty, and I'm going to put, I don't know, let's see, maybe some green and red together. Let's see what that comes out like. Green and red. There we go. Comes out darker red. Or you could have had a green shirt. Whatever colors you want, it's up to you. Whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it like that because I don't want to take up too much time. So let's highlight the edges of these posts. So we're saying that the light's coming in through the right, so we'll do the edge of the post as if the sun hit it. Even the sun might hit it a little bit over here. Like I say, you're not there, so you don't know where the sun is going to hit it, but we'll just assume, let's assume that some of the light is coming on this edge of the post. That's all. It's our painting, it's our world, so we can do whatever we want. We can have the sun come wherever we want to. Hey, we can have the sun hitting off wherever we want to. So let's just pretend in our little fantasy world that the sun is shining on these posts a little bit, okay? There we go. While you got your liner brush out, why don't we dip into a little bit of brown, burnt umber, and put some clothespins on the line. Just tap brown here, tap brown here, tap brown here, tap brown here, tap, 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 tap. Now you get some clothespins. Very simple little clothespins, okay? Okay, I'm just, like I said, I'm doing a video. You take your time and get them done properly. Mine are, that's a little bit big over there, so, you know, but that's just an idea. Put some clothespins on there. Clean off your brush. Let's get some of those brightened up again. Brighten up that edge again. Add a little bit of white, a bit of red, white and red. Get that edge over here nice and bright. There we go. So you got the bright edge over here. Add a little teeny weeny itsy bitsy bit of blue to it to darken it up on this edge. Just so you can get two different values. That will give you the shadow. Good. A little bit of a shadow here. Okay. So I'll give you two values, and dark, and we get a medium value in here. We get dark, a medium, and a light. We get three values, and then it'll look much better. So the lightest one will be on the edge here where the light is shining on it. See? So with your three values, it gives it more of shape. So the same with the rest of your clothes. So let's go with the darkening it up on this edge over here. That's your shadow. Then we get some medium, so we'll just add some red to it. To lighten it up there in the middle. So you have the dark and the medium and the light. Get some white and bring a little bit of a lighter color over here. So you have three values, you got a shape. Now, I'll get that straightened up for you. But anyway, make sure you got your three values and you'll get better shapes that way. Okay, so, yes. There we go. I'm getting it. So now we already have a really dark pair of shorts there. So we'll lighten that up. Get a medium value of your blue. So you already have your really dark. We'll get a little bit of a medium value going on here. And let's keep your shadow on that side. Go get your blues until it comes up. There we go. And then let's get our lighter value on the edge here. Alright, so I am going to show you, now we're going to do, maybe we'll start with the this little wheel in the corner here, okay? So all you have to do with that is draw a circle with a pencil. Get a pencil and draw a circle because you have your tape still on there, so just draw out a round circle. It doesn't have to be exactly the same size as mine, okay? So just draw that. And then draw a little circle in. I'm going to use chalk because you can't see that. And that way you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So I'll get your bit of chalk. Alright, so have a look at that painting while I'm getting the chalk for you. Okay, now what you got to do is draw your, like say I'm trying to do a video so you can't see it. So there we go. Now you can see it. Now you can see it. Good. Alright, so just draw a circle here. Just one line is fine. And then you're going to draw a circle here, little circle, and some lines out from that circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe a little one out here. Okay, so that's just to get you started. And now what you're going to do is take your brush. Let's take this little filbert brush, just a little tiny one, and just put some brown on it. Some brown, add a little bit of blue to darken it up, want it really nice and dark. Some brown, ultramarine blue, and burnt umber. And then draw it out now with your filbert brush. Okay? Now mine may not be perfectly round because, like I said, I'm doing the video. So just take that. There we go. And then same with the center. With ultramarine blue and some brown. Just make a circle in the center. And then you're going to make your lines here. Okay. Just make your lines here and here and here. Here, here, and here. Okay. So, what we'll do with these is we'll highlight them to bring them in better shape. So take some white on your dirty brush, take some white, and just go on the very top of that, and just go around the very top of that so that you leave some of the bottom so you can still see the dark. Oopsie daisies. Alright, good. And then we may need to put some brown back in here. Brown with a little bit of ultramarine blue. That back in here so we can just get that straightened away. Just so that we can get the shape. So, add a little bit of highlight to the edge. Just to get some highlight, because remember we said there was some light shining on it. And then we will add some highlight to the edges of these. Okay, I'm going to take my liner brush, I think this liner brush, and try it because I'm finding that brush a little too big for the smaller areas. And I'm just going to add a little bit of a light brown. It's brown, burnt umber, and some white. And just the same as we did with our post, just put some light wherever you think it's shining. Maybe the sun came in and started shining on some of these posts. Wherever you think the light is shining on those. So I'm doing this pretty quickly because I'm trying to get done for you, and that way you can practice it and you can change it up and fix it up. Take a picture of the original one that I gave you so that if I change it too much here, painting it, then at least you can look at the picture and decide, you know, that you want to look a little more like my picture, my first painting. Okay, because right now, for some reason, I'm having a little bit of a hard time, but I'm trying. Well, at least this shows you that it is a struggle. It is a struggle at times to paint. I know there's videos on there, you know, and some of the artists are just going, and they just make it look so easy. And it is, you know, not too bad, but it still is a struggle, you know. We all have our struggles with our paintings. But it's all practice, and even if you practice, it's still a little hard. So we'll just put a little bit of a highlight on the edge here on this circle. One here and one here. I'm making this nice and bright for you just so you can see it better, okay? So and I left some darks in the center there. Good. Okay, so just get that the way you want it. Okay, there we go. So I'll just leave that for now. Maybe I can do some touch-ups after. So, good. So then we'll just take our long liner brush, and we will go through the yellow and the white again, bit of green, and bring up some flowers here. And if you're, this is a good way to cover up things that you can't seem to get properly. And then you can take some flowers and go over the spots you don't like. I know, but you know what? Sometimes you don't want to destroy your whole painting just because you couldn't get a certain thing. So lots of flowers over in this corner here. Lots of flowers. Because I really would like to do that wheel over again. But I'm doing a video and I want to keep it. I don't want to start over again right now. because I want to keep getting videos up for you, and if it takes me a week to do one video, I won't get very many up for you. So I want to hopefully show you the best I can and have some fun and relax. I don't want it to look too hard, but I want to show you that, you know, everybody can struggle. This is in real time. This is not something, and yes, I do the painting first and then I do the video, but when I do it when I'm not on video, I can take my time and correct things. It might take me 2 or 3 days to get everything the way I want it. But on a video, I'm trying to do it in like 10-20 minutes. And it's good. It's fun. So I like doing it this way. I don't want to be too fussy. So I'm just going to put a few flowers on that. Flower time. Flower power. So you can have whatever color flowers you want. I'm just going to put some here. So with my little brush, like I showed you before, okay, so red on one side and white on the other. Just tap your flowers on, and you can use different brushes. Tap, tap, tap. Tap your flowers on, that's it. Pretty little flowers. And you could also use your little brush, your other little brush, liner brush, red and white. Put on some flowers, little flowers. I'm going to put some little flowers over here too, okay? So put some little flowers on here. So put some little bits of grass up here. Little bits of grass. You can put as many as you want. Pull them up. Pull them up. A couple little pieces of grass. And then just take your brush with the red and white and put some little flowers around your posts. There we go. You can put as many as you want and do what you want, okay? So you can have as many bits of grass around here. I'm just playing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a bit of a shadow on this. So just get a bit of blue and a bit of red shadow color. Make it a bit of a purplish color. And just drag out a bit of a shadow. Okay, more on the bluish side. Drag out a little shadow here and a little shadow there. Alright? They're just little shadows. Little shadows for your clothes. Alright, so there's some shadows for your clothesline, and there's shadows for your clothes. You don't need many, don't worry about the clothes. And then we're going to take our Bristol brush, this one here, and we're going to dip it into a bit of green, small bit of green, yellow, but mostly white. So we can brighten up some areas of the grass, just a little bit, okay? Because like I said, I want to get some attention brought to certain areas. So let's say we got this center here, the light is coming in, you got light over here, and here. So where most of the light is, that will bring your attention to that area. Maybe there's a little bit of light here on this side, because you got those shadows there, so you don't want them to look, you want them to be left out. A little bit of shadow, so a bit of highlights here and there just to bring your eye to that area, and it would be a light, really light color. You can also add some little flowers down here with some white. Just tap on some flowers here just to get that light going on. And also, so you got some lights here in the center so you can see the light, and then up here add a bit more white on top of that wheel so that the sun is shining up here, okay, and maybe a little more here. So you look at your painting and see where you think it needs more. Now that brush is too big, I'm just quickly doing it for you, but use the smaller brush. And what else can we do? What else can we do? So yeah, so there's lots you can do with it and have some fun with it. We're going to take our tape off now, and then we'll see if we need any more adjustments, and then we'll, if I don't do anything else, you guys can do whatever, you know, you feel needs some extra work. Okay, so take your tape off to reveal. This is the reveal. Alright. And that makes it look nice and pretty. If you get some bleeding underneath your tape, that's what it's called, bleeding. And if you get that, just take a really clean brush, a brush you never used before, and then take it and put it on some white paint on it. Alright, just any brush that's clean. Put some white paint on it, pure white, clean, and just clean up those sides. Okay? Just clean all that up. Just get all that, anything that came underneath the tape, any color that paint, just paint it out with white. See? So, that's basically it. Like I said, if you see anything else that needs to be done with this painting, let me know. And if you say, well, I think something else needs to be done, can you do something else with the painting and fix it up? And how do I fix it up? What's the best way to do this? What's the best way? Ask me any questions you want, and I will try to answer my best, to my best ability, to answer questions for you. And like I said, there's lots more you can do with this. And I'm going to use my finger to spread. Now you can use your finger to spread out some paint too, if you want to. And I'm going to leave that for now, because I think, you know, you could do so much more. You could even take your you could even take this brush here, and you can put a little white on it, and a little brown, and you can put these little sticks or little twigs or trunks of trees down between the trees, if you like. Okay, so you can't barely see in there now, but you can put little tree, like the trees are got some trunks, little trunks. There we go, little trunks. Good. And you can also tap in a few little trunks. Put in as many as you want. Every little detail that you do to your painting makes it better. All these little, as many details as you can think of, you know. If you want more, a little bit more green, not much more, but you know, you want to darken up a few of those green trees a little bit. You can always tap in a few more green trees here. There's so much you can do. There we go. And if you wanted to, so you darken them up a little bit on the bottom there, just to say there's more trees, and you just put some trunks in, so you don't want them just being able to see only the trunks, so you can go over it again. And if you want to, you can also go into a bit of yellow and a little bit of green and tap on a little bit of highlight on the top of those trees, because there is sun shining down on those trees. So you can, on the right side, there's some light maybe, or on the top, you know, you can add some highlight, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white even, you know, and just brighten up the tops of those trees if you like. You don't have to do this, just showing you some extra little tips, just so that we can get as much as we can in each video. So you can have some fun, and you can use these techniques in any of your paintings, okay? I hope they helped you, and I hope you have fun painting. And thank you for all your wonderful comments, and oh, you're so sweet, guys. And I would say for now, happy painting and have fun with this clothes on the line painting. See you again soon.